Okay. So you can you can continue.
Yeah, so H1B, EB2, NIW, if you ask me which one is better, I'd rather go for something that's certain than something that's not certain. So I'd rather take the national interest waiver because if you actually have everything in place and all the supporting documents, the approval rate is quite high for EB2
Then,
visas, unlike the H1B where they just put you in the lottery, you really are not sure if you're going to get in or not. So,
and in case you get it, and let's have the time frame of how long does this last? The EB2, the H1B, for how long can you have it? Can you be naturalized, or would I say become a citizen or
okay,
get a
here's the
green card?
thing. The EB2 category is actually a green card category. Like it's a straight up green card if you get approved for the EB2.
Oh, okay.
But with the H1B, they approve you for about 3 years. And then you could also extend for another 3 years. So it's a total of about 6 years. Yeah, but the EB2 is actually a green card category. So I would say the EB2 is kind of a higher category than the H1B.
So how now the H2B? What is the difference? H1B.
Specialty occupation, I would have to look that up. I'm not really sure, but I just put everything as H1B. I'm not
Oh,
familiar with
the
H2B.
H2B. Oh, that's great. All right. So now your firm, how have you been doing with helping people out? Let's say someone is interested in receiving your service and having to get all of this. Perhaps the person has not come to the country. Maybe the person is still in his or her country, any part of the world. Now, how can this be done? And also, I would like to know if there is two things. You are not here yet here, and now you're here. Maybe somebody came in with a business visit and they want to change to education. Now, let's hear this.
Okay, so yeah, it's very possible. Like you said, some applicants are already here in the country. That way, they just have to change their status from B1, B2 to whatever new status that they have. But if they are still back home, I would say that could be a longer process because then they have to take the approved I-120, I-129 or I-1 approved I-140 if it's for the EB2, and then take to the local U.S. consulate and then get an appointment. And we know how it is in Nigeria right now with getting appointment dates, and a lot of things are kind of like backlogged. So that might take a while, but it's still a good option for people trying to come in. Still a very good option. But for people that are here already, it's a little bit better. All you have to do is just change from B1, B2 visitors category to um, getting your green card if it's the EB2 or H1B. Yeah.
So perhaps the person is here already and was denied. Does that mean deportation? Absolutely.
If they get denied, perhaps not. Perhaps not. They could still perhaps fall in love with a United States citizen and get married. That's not deportation. So they could still adjust status through some other means.
That's if you're lucky to get
And
someone.
then talking about the processing time, for people who don't really want to wait so long, the USCIS has something we call expedite processing. So you could pay to fast track the entire thing. And if you pay for expedite processing, then they have to determine your case within 15 calendar days. And with the EB2 right now, the expedite processing fee is about $2,805.
Mm.
That's a lot. It's a lot, yes.
But anyways, if you need it, you get it.
Right, right.
No matter how much, Nigerians work a lot. So
Yeah.
doing like too many jobs, you can actually raise that so fast. Now, your firm, I saw you did you shared your flyer with me, and I saw a couple of other things that you do. Um, help us out with that. What are the other things? Does that basically you're an attorney and your core area is immigration, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So what are the other services that you provide that has to do with, getting situated that people still do not know about?
Well, we do the regular application for asylum and withholding of removal for people who fear persecution back home in their home country. Because right now we have a lot of countries in the world that's torn by war and so much crisis going on in the world. So people need a safe haven. So we do application for asylum to people. And one other thing I want to notice, for me, being in the legal profession is a calling more than it is a job. And as much as I can, I try to extend that help to people that need it. Because here in the United States, legal services is on the high side. So, um, for instance, I was, in fact, the same place I actually went to make my hair. Um, I met a young lady there who she's not so young. She should be in her perhaps mid 50s, and she's just she doesn't have no way to pay her attorney fees. And right there and then, I told her, "Hey, come to my office and let's see what we can do." Because she explained her case to me, and she has a pretty good case. And I took up her case pro bono. So for me, at least being able to use my profession to change at least one life means a lot to me. So we do application, like let me go back to the question. We do application for asylum, we do family-based petitions. If you're already here in the US, perhaps you're a US citizen, you want to file for your family back home, your kids, your parents, we do that, I-130. We also do L1As. That's something that's not popular. I know the family-based petition and asylum is kind of really popular, but there's another category called L1A that where you could actually, let's say for instance, you own a company back home in Nigeria and your company is doing really well financially, and you want to send some of your staffs, especially your executives or your managers, or even you yourself, who is the owner of the business, you're an executive in the business. So you could say you're coming to open a new office here in the United States, and that entitles you to what we call the L1A visa. But that's for really successful business people. You could just come rent a new space, lease space. You could even apply for L1A if you're already here on a B1, B2. You could say you're extending the branch of your company elsewhere, or you're transferring some of your employees from Africa, from Europe, from wherever to the United States. So that's the L category. And also even churches. Churches can sponsor some of their employees, some of the to stay here in the United States. So there's so many categories, and we do all of that in our law firm.
That's good. You're really doing well.
Thank you.
Okay, now let's quickly moving forward. I think you actually named most of your business as American Dream. Now, like you said, you like it took you back to where you started from, right? And I'm sure that there are people that have been here longer than you and are still trying to find their feet. Now, what would you say was your driving force and you now coming? Because I'm sorry, I keep going back to this. I remember very well when you said you were going to write that exam. At that point in time, you were still trying to find your feet. I know so well. So, for you to have transformed from that person to who you, would I say, what you are right now? And I know that there is still much more to come. What would you say was your driving force, the challenges to now be someone who is providing a pro bono service for other people?
Wow, that question is huge. I would say that's the
While
best
we're trying
question
to
of this
educate people,
interview.
I also want them to see that nothing is impossible.
Yeah. Oh, that's a huge question. So, you know, like I always say when I give my human trafficking presentations, that the main push factor of migration is poverty. If it was all rosy back home, nobody's going to be here. If everything is working in our system, nobody's going to be here in the first place. So I grew up in a really, really poor setting. I was born in a place called Jakande in Lagos, in the rural areas. I started to hawk when I was 5 years or maybe 6 years old. I was hawking fish on the streets. So all of that experiences growing up as a child actually built me to be a tough person. The trucking industry in the United States is one of the toughest places to be. And I was able to break through even in that industry. So that experience as a child growing up in such an environment, I cannot afford to fail. I have so many people looking up to me, like, I just cannot afford to fail because not every young girl back home has that opportunity that we have to be here. So we represent a lot of people, a lot of dreams that are still out there just looking forward to be fulfilled.
Wow, it's so true. Well, I wish I could take you on more on this personal journey of life with you, but we're running out of time. So a quick one. What do people, or what does, how do I put this in English now? Let me know. Okay, what is that thing about you that people don't know about?
I'm extremely shy.
Really?
I'm an extremely shy
How do you
person.
survive law courts?
Yes, notwithstanding me being a lawyer, a speaker on the human trafficking front and everything. I've been at several conferences and spoken. I still get that butterfly, like when I'm about to speak. I'm a really shy person, and I'm also an introvert. Yeah.
So that's what people don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. Do you have any final word as a round up?
Well, I would say this because usually a lot of immigrants come into the United States and they do not prioritize their immigration status until something happens.
Okay.
So I would say that rather than wait till things go bad, then you start looking for a lawyer. How about you being proactive about the process and act now rather than later?
Okay. So the earlier the better. Your stitching time saves 9. All right, thank you so much, Joy. It's been wonderful chatting with you. And for people who would need your service, of course, Joy is very much available. And of course, she does pro bono, but also she needs money to survive too. so, so while you're doing that, put that at the back of your mind so that whatever it is that you have, you should still try to, give that out. But she will always be there to help you out. Thank you so much for joining us and for watching. Joy, again, I say thank you. I look forward to another wonderful time with you.
Thank you, Joke. Good night.
All right, take care. Bye, everyone. See you soon.
Bye.